Hello, welcome to Bob's Dungeon. My name is Bob, I'll be your host. In this video, we're going to talk about some more alternative miniatures. Me, I don't use miniatures in any of my games, but there's a lot of people out there that do. And miniatures can get really expensive, and it can be hard to find good miniatures sometimes. So I've started putting this video series together, alternative miniatures, to give some ideas of alternative things that you can use for miniatures for your role-playing game. In this video, we're going to take a look at another batch of little bitty transformers that you can use for your tabletop role-playing games as miniatures in a Transformers game, in a game about robots, a game about mecha, what have you. And this will be the last of this series of Transformers, because these are the last of the little bitty transforming type that I have. And a lot of these are extremely gimmicky. So I got a couple of regular Transformers so I can show you how the gimmicks work. But you'll probably never use these gimmicks in your game. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at these miniatures and see what they can do for your game. Now, the first thing we're going to look at is a regular Transformer from about the time this series was out, so that we can see the gimmick, one of the main gimmicks that this line had to offer. And the Transformer we're going to look at is this guy here. His name is Quake, and this is his tank mode. And I got this one because I had Quake when I was little, and he was one of my favorites. Now, this tank mode is a radical departure from his original tank mode, which was a traditional type tank. And this is more of a Cybertron tank. So, anyway, they all had this gimmick, and they came with a pilot that has a little piloting area here. I can open it. And they don't have a lot of articulation. The arms move, legs move a little, but they're bolted at the knee, so they don't move individually. And then the head has a little bit of articulation. Now, we'll put him aside, and I'll show you what the gimmick is here in a bit. They revived a gimmick from the G1, which I'll explain more in a minute, because why that's weird. But anyway, the pilot can go in here, and we'll take his rifle off. And the cannon can open up and has another seat for him to sit in if you want. But we'll put him in robot mode so you can see the gimmick. Now, he transforms pretty easily. These treads here fold down, and you pull the feet out. Do that on both sides. And then you go up top, and, well, back here, and you unclick that and fold the whole thing over like that. And then you pop these out. These will be your arms. There's the fists in there. You just pop those out on both sides. This folds down as a whole, and then the back folds down, and then you flip the gun up to mount it on the shoulder. Now, as you can see, he has no head, and that's one of them. That's the main gimmick from this line. Is this little guy here pretty much takes a bow and turns into a head, and you pop it in to this section here, and now he's got his head. What's weird about this is in the original G1 line, they had a group called Headmasters, and that was the gimmick. Then they had a group of Target Masters who had little bitty guys that transformed into guns. Quake was a Target Master, not a Headmaster. Now he's a Headmaster. But because of the gimmick of some of the small ones, you can turn him into a Target Master as well. And I'll show you that as we move along. But first, we got one more guy. They have a smaller version of the regular Transformers. And this is Brawn from that series. And the reason I got him out was so I can show you what his gimmick is, because he works with them too, but in a different way. You can open him up, and you can take one of these guys. They were called Titan Masters, and they can sit inside him and ride around inside him. And that was his gimmick. Yay. Plus, he could use the weapons that some of them would transform into, and I'll show you that in a minute. But anyway, Braun's simple to transform. You remove this back piece, and you fold out his legs. And then you pull out his arms. You turn them around. And then you turn his head around. And there's Braun. Now, this guy's actually really cool. He looks a lot like the cartoon version of the original Braun from G1. And that's pretty awesome. So, that's him. But I got him out so I can show you how they work with his gimmick. So, these guys are broken up into a couple of sections, these next groups. And we'll start with the regular vehicle types. And they were set up like the Micromasters that we looked at way back in the first video. And this is actually a redo of one of those Micromasters that we looked at. And he's very simple to transform. In this form, his tank mode, turn it goes and it turns. But he's got a partner. I'll have to get him out real quick. This guy, who's a reproduction of another G1 guy we looked at. And I'm not going to transform into robot mode yet because their gimmick is that they hook up together and form a bigger gun. It's been a while since I've done this. Give me a second here. Oh yeah. Make sure I've done this right. I don't believe I have. All right. Well, I'm not going to waste a lot of time on it, but somehow these two connect together to form a larger gun. But I'm not going to waste much time on it. I'm just going to show you how they look in robot modes. You pull his feet up on this guy, fold the back end down, and bring his head up. And that's him. And he has a lot more articulation than the original one. He bends at the knees, his legs move, his arms move, and his head is pretty solid. That's him. His partner is just as easy. You bring the feet down, right, you bring the legs down, fold these parts back, which gives him stability to stand. You pull his arms down, and there you go. Again, he's got articulation in the knees, up here at the top of the legs, and the arms, which is a lot more articulation than the original had. Moving on. We got two more that go together, which are these Decepticon jets. And I have the G1 version of this guy, and we looked at that. But these guys, like the other two, they connect together like that. And, oh, no, my bad. No, that was correct. They connect together like that. Oh, yeah. And they're a sword. So that's kind of weird, looking for a sword, but that's what it is. So let's take a look at these guys in robot mode. Now, mostly in a Transformers tabletop game, you'll just use these guys in robot mode. But it's neat that they can transform so that if you needed to put them in vehicle mode for your game, you could. Now this guy, you just fold that back. His legs peg in up here. And it's hard to do this without his legs popping off. But, yeah, hook them, straighten them out, bring them down. His arms fold down like this. And this guy doesn't have any hands. I guess he has lasers. But you fold the wings back, and he's done. And he's got some pretty good articulation. Up in the shoulders, at the elbows, the knees, and at the legs. And that's your lot on articulation. But he is pretty neat as far as being a miniature goes for your game. His partner here, who I still can't remember his name, he's very easy to transform. You fold the top of the jet like that, pull his legs apart, lift his feet, and then you pop his head up. And he's got some alright articulation at the top of the arms, legs, and knees. And, oh yeah, his wings fold back a little. But they work pretty well for miniatures for your game, for little robots. Now this next group, they don't really fit together, so I'll show them one at a time. First we have this little car, and you can see the robot underneath. Very easy to transform. You just fold the legs down, pull them apart. Well, pop the hood and move it back so it lies across the back. And then pop his arms out. Hopefully not off. And that's him. I don't know his name either. But you can move it, the arms, legs, and knees. And he's a pretty standard looking Autobot for your game. Oh yeah, he does have the gimmick. He can change into a weapon. But I'm not sure how to do that because I've never really done their weapon mode before. And he would be paired up with this guy, who looks like a little DeLorean. So I guess you can get your Back to the Future fix if you wanted with miniatures. But same thing, you pop his legs down. Oh yeah, he's kind of hard. You got to pop his arms out first. A little. Because he's got these pegs that plug into there. And then you move the hood back onto his back. And that's pretty much it. So if you want to do a little Back to the Future type dilly, this little guy could be your DeLorean. And next, we got a fire truck. And that extends, and it goes up, turns. So that's pretty cool. And he came packaged with this police car. And again, I'm not sure how they hook up, so I'm not going to show you their combined weapon mode. But we will look at the robot modes. On him, you just bring the feet down. Pop the arms down. And there you go. Moves the arms. His legs are very loose. So I don't know how well he'll stand, but he bends the knees and the legs. And that's your lot on articulation. So that's him. Let's look at this police car. And again, I don't know their names, and I just popped his legs off, which is okay. They're on ball joints, so you can pop them back on pretty easily. We just got to move his arms out of the way. Go ahead and fold them down. See, they pop right back on. That was the thing with these guys. They popped apart pretty easily. And he can move with the arms, legs, and knees just like the others. And he's got some big screw in his chest. But you can serve your police car needs in your game. Now, the next group we're going to look at is guys that changed into weapons. First, we got this guy. His name is, I know his name, I think it's Rook, I believe. No, his name is Rung. That's right, his name is Rung. I remember him from the comic books that IDW put out. He's a psychiatrist. And his articulation is he can move at the legs and at the arms, and that's about it. Now, his transformation is really weird. You pop that up, you snap his legs together, and you connect his arms up here in these little slots. And in case you're wondering, he's a kind of a gun. One of the things that these guys came with is they have these blast effects they came with, which would have been cool when I was a kid, but they didn't have them when I was a kid. And the blast effects plug into here. You get blast effects in there. Like that, so it looks like he's shooting. And said, the hands on these guys are big enough. I'm going to take the blast effects off for now. And they can hold them just like any other weapon. Now, the weird part is, Rung, this character in the comic books, he transformed into pretty much a stick. And there was a reason for that that is showed later on in the series, but he was basically just a stick. Next one we got is this wolf. And that's his blast effect, is his tail. But anyway, he transforms into, I can get him into it. It's been a while since I've messed with these. Oh, right. I guess that's it. He transforms into a sword. Next one we're going to look at is this guy. And I do not remember his name. He's clearly a Decepticon. Articulation is his arms and his legs. But what he does is you flip this up. You peg his legs together. They flip up like that. And you put his arms up like this. And he is a gun. Now, like I said, he'd be plugged into there, so you can turn your old target master into a new target master, even though now he's now a headmaster. And next we're going to look at this guy. And like the other one, his arms move, his legs move. That's really about it on him. And as you can probably already guess, he transforms into a gun. You flip that up, peg his feet together, move them up like that, and then plug his arms in, I believe. Well, they don't plug in, but they kind of set up here. And that's his gun mode. Then we got this pterodactyl. You can move his head up so he's flying, or you can move his feet, bring the head down a little, bring the wings down. He can be standing there watching, which is real odd with the openings here. But what he does is put the wings in this position, flip that up, put the head in there, pull the feet up, and now he's a battle axe. And we'll put him in Braun's hand. And now he can run around and hack people up. What's neat is they have these blast effects like this, and you can plug those in. So you got an action blast when he's smacking somebody. And something I didn't show earlier, that hatch that you took off on Braun, it's got a peg, and it becomes a weird looking gun. So next we're going to look at this guy, who's a snake, like a big cobra, and he's kind of weird. You just fold the head down, or no, put the head up. It's like I said, a lot of these, it's been a long while. You fold that across there. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, I'm not sure what the actual transformation is on him, but when you're done, he turns into a shield for them to hold. It's been a long while since I've done anything with these guys, so it's a little difficult. Oh. Yeah. That folds up. Yeah. There we go. Now he's a shield for them to hold on to. So that's kind of weird. But speaking of weird, we got this guy, who's like a minotaur. And you can use him, I guess, as a robotic minotaur in your game, with like a stick stuck in him. But his transformation is you hold his arms out like that. You fold him in half, pretty much. And fold his legs like this. Okay. Like I said, it's been a while on a lot of these. And he was always a tricky one. There we go. but his arms and his legs wind up hooking up together. If I can do it without popping them off. There we go. And when you're done, you have a war hammer. So that's pretty nifty. And then we got this guy. He's got the arm articulation and the leg articulation. His transformation's pretty simple. You fold this down without breaking it. And pop that out on the chest, and you have a shield. That one's probably one of the more lame ones. Now we're going to look at 3 that are very neat, I think. And they do a different gimmick than what those guys do. First one we're going to look at, the gimmick will be obvious. We have Fengri. Now, Fengri was a Generation 1 character who transformed into from a robot to this wolf bat thing. And as you can see, he's got a face sticking out of his chest right now. But his articulation is he can move his arms and his legs and his tail. And you pop the head out of his chest, and it becomes a little headmaster unit. Or they call them Titan Masters. And these guys, they sold individual Titan Master heads that came with bodies, and the bodies can transform into other things. Like, he would transform into a gun mode. I can get him to do it. Oop. And his wing popped off, which it pops right back on. There we go. But he's got his gun mode, and the head unit can plug into there so he can be part of the gun. But the head unit by itself, if you take your regular guy, pop his head off, and you can pop in the new head. If I can get it to go without breaking it. There we go. Now he's a new guy altogether. And that was the gimmick of these Titan Masters. You had a little guy that controlled a big guy. Now, personally, I like popping the head back in here with the face showing through the belly. The next one we're going to look at is this guy here. And his name is Ape Face. He's based off another G1 character. This ape, all he has for articulation is his arms. Now, the original Ape Face transformed, of course, into a robot, an ape, and a jet. And he's got the head right there. And this body can transform from the ape into a jet that the little Titan Master can fly around in. So that's pretty cool. He also changes into a weapon, but some of these weapon gimmicks aren't that great, so we're not going to look at all of them. The next one is really cool. This is a character named Snapdragon, and he's also based off an original G1 character. In the original, he transformed from robot to a dragon type creature to a jet. And now he transforms from, he's got this dinosaur mode, and you can pull Titan Master out. The Titan Master, when he's in him, he forms his bottom jaw and his little stubby arms. But the body, it transforms into a weapon. And it also, give me a second here and we'll get a good look at it. Okay, I don't remember exactly how it goes, but it has a dragon mode. It's not really that impressive, but he can ride around on a dragon. You know. So, that's those guys. It's neat because they made homages to the original, some original characters. And, I mean, they're not that great, but it's just good that we have something. And now this brings us, after I put him back in his dinosaur mode, which is the mode I keep him in. There we go. I got 4 more left. And these are weird ones. When the Titan Master gimmicks started getting old, they changed it. And they turned the Headmaster units into Prime Cores. And they plugged in on new places on the Transformers to unlock different gimmicks. But I don't have any of them that do that. But we're going to start by looking at Bludgeon. And his articulation is he can move his arms. That's it. He can transform into a weapon, which is his club, which isn't that great for the Transformers to use to bash each other with. But what his specialized gimmick is this is an homage to a G1 toy that was called a Pretender, which was a shell that had a transformer inside. So he opens up, and this Prime Core comes out, who's like the Headmaster unit. But instead of a head, they transform exactly the same. And it's supposed to be the spark of a Prime. But me, I would use it as just the inner robot for Bludgeon from his original self. So, that's kind of nifty. A lot of people didn't like these. I kind of like them because they're like an homage to the original Transformers. And that's pretty cool, I think. Oops. But they had some Autobot ones and some Decepticon ones. I just got Decepticon ones because I like the Decepticons better. Next one we're going to look at is Octopunch. Again, the only articulation is in his arms. What he transforms into is whatever this thing's supposed to be. Like a tentacle gun. But he opens up just the same. And there's his little robot inside. And they do the same thing. So, there's not much to really show on these guys. Really neat little Decepticon symbol. Then, I believe this guy's name was Bombburst. I could be wrong. But his transformation is he turns into this claw thingy. So you can scratch people. And again, just the arms move. Little robot inside. Last one we're going to look at. This guy's name was Skullgrin, and I really like the look of him. Again, only the arms move. He also transforms into a claw, so he can scratch people. and a little robot inside. Now, like I said, a lot of people really did not like these, and I thought they were a neat idea, an homage to the original Pretender Transformers, who pretty much nobody talks about anymore. But I think if they had done them a little bit different, they could have kept the bodies like this. I would have been okay with that. But they would have done a little bit more with their inner robots to do other things or something. I think it would have been a lot cooler. But anyway, that's these little Transformers. And that's my look at this little batch of small little Transformer toys that you could use as miniatures for your Transformers or other robot tabletop role-playing game. And I'm not sure how much these go for now, because you can't buy them in the stores anymore, except for maybe like some collectible stores. But I'm pretty sure you could probably find them online or in the flea market or something. And they probably are a little expensive now, but I don't know, I haven't been really looking. But anyway, thank you for joining me at looking at these alternative miniatures for your tabletop role-playing game. And hopefully you'll join me next time where we'll talk about something else. Bye.